Hi, me again, America's therapist. And yeah, I figured maybe I should come back and chat with everybody about this coronavirus. One of the things that I really wanted to talk about because I was feeling it myself and I figured other people might be feeling it too. So, you know, as a therapist, I have patients that I've been talking to and they're nervous and kids are nervous, but I was really, I had this feeling in the pit of my stomach, and I said, what am I going to do about it? Because I don't want to have this feeling in the pit of my stomach. So I kind of started to think about fear, because that's really what it was. And, 60% of the things that we fear never really happen anyway, That does mean some things do happen. But there was a study done at Chapman University, and I think it was 2016, and it came up with 10 things that people, it was 1,500 people that were surveyed, and out of those 1,500 people, these are the things that they came up with that people are nervous about and fearful about. And number one was corruption in the government. That was number one. Terrorism, not having money for the future, being a victim of terrorism, government restrictions on firearms, loved ones dying, an economic collapse, identity theft, loved ones becoming sick, and believe it or not, the 10th one was the Affordable Care Act. I don't even get that one, but that's what was on this finding. So out of those, there was a small snippet of people all across the country, 1,500 people, and this is what they came up with. These were the fears. And I'd say there's a lot of things on that list that are kind of currently happening. No, this isn't a terrorism attack, but people are scared. They think it might be. It isn't. But there's other things on there, finances. Finances are things that people are scared about right now, right? Health of your loved ones, health of yourself, those things. So those are things that Americans are scared of. So that in and of itself is scary. But then I kind of looked at a report from the University of Chicago that was done a couple of years ago, and basically, people fear what they can't control, right? And so when this study that was done, what they found out that in a lot of anxiety disorders and a lot of mental health disorders, the underlying fear is fear of the unknown. Well, we have fear of the unknown right now, don't we? This is unprecedented what's going on right now. It feels like a never-ending snowstorm, right? So it can be frightening. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that later on in this little snippet of a video. But one of the things I did want to say is that when we have fear of the unknown, taking control will help us, because it's fear of the unknown and fear that we will lose control, right? So I'm going to talk about taking control later, but I kind of, even though this is an unprecedented thing that's happening right now, it's not like this country and this world has never been through really hard times before that are unprecedented. Maybe not like this, but other things that are unprecedented. In our generation, the World War II generation, they would be in their 80s and 90s now, right? And even 90s, really, for the most part. And they went through an awful lot. If you just even thinking about just the regular people that were staying home, women watched their husbands, boyfriends, brothers, fathers go off to war. So there was that piece of it. But I was actually looking up today when I was preparing to have a little chat today. Another time that we had uncharted territory was during World War II. There were these rolling blackouts. They had these blackouts that they had, and they had drills, just in case we were going to be bombed. And if you really think about London. London, they were bombed all the time by the Germans, and they had to live underground in the tubes and hide there. And that was really, really frightening. And it went on for years and years and years. This isn't going to go on for years and years and years. Okay, we're for the most part right now, we're just stuck in our house because we are trying to not get sick, trying to not get our loved ones sick, and trying to make sure that in so doing, there's enough resources for those who do become sick, because there'll be less people sick. And we could be just all going about our business right now, blindly, and then we'd be feeling it even worse later. So this is really a preventative thing. And it's scary, but it's also, if we really look at it, we have to look at it in perspective. It's got to be, perspective. And so, we're not at war. That's a good thing. Although maybe we are at war. We're at war against the virus, and this is how we're fighting it. So we are taking control, because this is what we are doing to fight against this war. Just to be clear, this is not a zombie apocalypse. Just letting you know, in case you were wondering. This is temporary. This is a temporary thing. But it's also, for now, because we don't know how long. I heard the president talk, and he was saying that it could be till July, right? We don't know what that means. Does it mean we're all going to be stuck in the house till July? We don't know what that means, right? So this is the new normal, but it's the temporary new normal. It is not for years to come, right? It's for a couple of months. It's sad that there are certain things that are going to change. I have a personal thing that I'm going through. I was planning my beautiful daughter's Sweet 16 and canceling it because I don't want any of us to get sick. I don't want my friends to get sick, my family. I don't want myself to get sick, and I don't want my daughter and her friends to get sick. So, I'm doing the right thing for everybody concerned, right? So I'm taking control. And so by staying home, you're taking control, right? So I was thinking about other times in my life where things were the new normal, and how I had to handle them. And one silly little time was just a couple of years ago when I broke my foot, and I was stuck in the house because I broke my driving foot, so I couldn't go anywhere. I had to get somebody to agree to drive me when I had to go somewhere, or pick things up for me. But I was stuck in the house, and it stunk. I hated it. But it was a temporary thing. Stuck in the house for like 6 weeks, and I didn't like it, and especially because I couldn't even get up and walk around. So I couldn't, I was like, oh, I'm going to go clean the closet. Oh no, that's right, I can't walk. So there was that. So that was the temporary new normal. Then I think about another time in my life, in 2005, which was a horrible new normal. My mom had a massive stroke, and I went from one day, talking to her on the phone, to the next day, she couldn't understand what I was saying to her, and she couldn't talk, and we had to get through that, and that was the feeling that I was having in the beginning of the week, or the end of last week, really, when everything became a state of emergency. I was having that feeling in the pit of my stomach of loss, and it's not just the loss of freedom, it's really the fear of the unknown, right? So it's okay to feel that way. It's normal to feel that way. There'd be something wrong with you if you didn't feel that way, but we can work through it, and over the time, my mom ended up, she, after rehab, she came home and lived with me, and we made a new normal for ourselves. I took her to the beach, got a wheelchair van. She was able to go to family events. It wasn't the same, but we made it the new normal, and I treasure those times now, and so right now we are in a situation, and it is scary, and it is serious, but we can get through it. We can get through it together. Humans are resilient. Just by nature, we are resilient. And as I started to say before, the antidote to feeling fear for not having control is taking control, right? That's the answer to it. So we have to take control. So how do we do that? We have to find creative solutions, right? So there's only so much you can do, but there's a world of things you can do. So what you do have control over are your decisions and your choices of how you handle this, right? And you also have control over your time because, well, we sort of have nothing but time right now, especially if you're stuck home, you know? And if you're not stuck home, if you're an emergency worker, God bless you. We as Americans will keep you in our prayers. And anyone listening to me, let's all promise we're going to keep them in our prayers, right? But some people, I had a conversation with somebody earlier, and they were concerned because somebody that is home that has the coronavirus was sitting at her desk when she happened to be out. I said, you know what? You really need to talk to somebody about that. Maybe you have a choice. You have control over that. Should you be going into work? I'm not sure. I think you need to talk to your doctor about it. You know, you have control over those kinds of things. So even if you have to go to work, you even have choices over that. Hopefully when this all began, you got stocked up a little bit. You know, you got things. If you didn't, there's stores are open in the daytime. There's also Amazon. Because I happen to in the past have been in disasters. I was assistant director of disasters for the Red Cross, and I worked with FEMA, and I worked with, so I kind of believe in always being prepared. But 3.5 weeks ago, I think when Milan was closed down and things started happening here, I said, I'm getting stuff. So I went on Amazon and I ordered a whole bunch of things. And so I'm pretty stocked up. But that's how we take control. That's how I assuaged my fears. I took control. I ordered what I knew my family needed. My 15-year-old, soon to be 16-year-old, has a very delicate palate. She only likes spaghetti and meatballs. She'll eat that 3 times a day. It's got to be from the can. Don't even say it. I make beautiful food. She won't eat it. I made, let's see, what did I make her tonight? I had to pay her to try it. I made quesadillas. I made this vegetable thing, and I made chili. Hated all 3. But she liked her spaghetti and meatballs from the can. So I stocked up. I actually did. I got 140 cans. Yeah, she's going to be eating good. I also got pizza. Hopefully people took control over what they could take control over. And if not, there's still time. You also have control over your time, now. I remember, be careful what you ask for. In January, I remember thinking to myself, gosh, I'm so tired. I'm just working so many hours. I could use like a month to sleep. Well, you got time to sleep now, don't we? We have all time to sleep, but don't sleep too much, because that's not a good thing either. One of the things that I would say, but it is time to catch up on your sleep, and sleep is actually very good. It actually is very good for your immune system. Too much sleep is not good for your immune system. So there's a balance in life, like anything else, right? Balance. I think it's very important to keep a routine. Get up every morning, shower, bathe, put your makeup on. You can have a day or two where you just kind of slosh around in your pajamas, but really for the most part, you should get a routine. Put your clothes on, and and go out and don't greet the world, greet the day. Shower and get dressed. Accomplish something every day. So I'm going to do another video. And we're going to talk about things that you can do. But just remember, we're all in this together, okay? So let's stay together, and you're going to be okay. We are all going to be okay, okay?